everyone, and a very warm welcome to a new podcast episode here on my channel. It has been a really long time ago since I sat down to film anything, and I have just not had any motivation or inspiration to do so until now. So now I decided to sit down and show you what I've been working on. And since it's been a while ago since I did a knitting podcast, I have done a lot of things. You saw some of the things in the intro. I went to Sweden to visit my family. I was there for a week, and me and my boyfriend, we went to his family's summer place in the Netherlands. So there were a few clips of that. And I also started another type of craft project, which is a book nook, and by now it's finished, so you saw some clips of that also. It's one of the coziest little things that I've ever crafted. So a book nook, you buy like a kit where you get all the pieces and instructions of how to build it. So in the evenings I have been building this, and it took maybe like, I don't know, a month probably. So my entire kitchen table was just full of my book nook stuff. But now it's finished. I have batteries for the lamp, and it's just, it's so cozy. I really like how it turned out, and it's such a cute addition in my bookshelf that I have over there, and it just, yeah, I like it a lot. But this is a knitting podcast, so we're here to talk about knitting. So I say we just get right into it, because I have quite a lot of finished objects and some work in progresses as well. We can start with what I'm wearing, because this is one of my finished objects. I don't have a name for it. It's a sweater that I made with yarn from a previous sweater. I showed it in my previous podcast episode. The beige yarn comes from the Wild and Free sweater or pattern that I made. Is a free drops design pattern, but I just really didn't like the way that it fit on me. It had a very weird, like, I don't know, I didn't like it. So I reused the yarn to make it this instead, and I added some green accents on the cuffs on here and also on the bottom cuff. I'm wearing sweatpants, so I'm not gonna stand up and show the bottom cuff or the bottom hem. You'll just have to trust me that it's also green. Yeah, it's with Drops Loves You 7, and I had a little bit of, not issue, but the yarn that I used from the previous sweater wasn't enough to make this one. So I had to order new yarn. But since I bought the previous yarn a year ago, I was, okay, I'm not gonna be able to get the same dye lot. And I didn't, it was different. But I don't think that you can tell, because the sleeves, both of them are from the newer dye lot, and the body is from the old one that I had from a year ago. So I mean, I can honestly not even see that there's a difference. So that was very lucky, because sometimes when you have to buy another dye lot, it can be like quite a big difference, but for this one it worked fine. And the green colors is also Drops Loves You 7. I do not remember the numbers of the colors, unfortunately, and I have lost the tags. And for each of the different patterns, I used inspiration from a book called 400 Knitting Stitches, and they have like a pattern catalog of just a bunch of different type of stitch textures. So I just took a lot of inspiration from that and made like, yeah, a lot of different patterns from it. I haven't blocked it. I think I will, because it makes me look like I have a bit of what is it called, like a down jacket effect with the like, it's like and I don't like that, so I think I'm gonna block it soon. I knitted on needle size 5 and it was a very quick knit. I knitted it top down, so I could really decide which length I wanted on it. And I have discovered that I really like knitting top down, so that I can see the armhole, if it's gonna fit well, or the length, how long I want it. So that's how I constructed it, and I haven't written down any notes or anything, so I'm sorry, I don't have a pattern for it really. But yeah, I really like the vibe of it, and it's very cozy. It's 100% cotton, so it's a little bit cold for the winter, but for the spring and the summer it's gonna be a really good sweater to use. Another one of my finished objects, we're gonna go with this one. I've shown you already when it was a work in progress. It's the Billet Doux shawl by Fox and Folk, and it is massive. It is so huge. I absolutely love it. I knitted this one in Drops Soft Tweed, yeah, in the color Spinach Pie, or if it's just called Spinach. And it's a yarn that is, I think it has sheep wool, but also some alpaca in it. And whenever wool yarns have alpaca in it, I absolutely love it. And since it's a tweed yarn, it has these beautiful small speckles of other colors, which really gives it a lot more texture definition in a way. As well as from the pattern itself, it has these beautiful lace details. And this project, I started with it, maybe I can wrap it around like this so you can see it a bit more while I talk. I started with this project in March. It's a project that I had with me on the train a lot when I went to visit my boyfriend's place, and also I knitted it a bit on the plane to Belgium when I moved here. And I knitted it up until June maybe, yeah, but then it just got way too warm. It got way too warm to work with any type of wool fiber, so I put it on hold, and then I picked it up again in October probably. Oh my god, it was such a long time ago that I sat down to talk about this. It feels like an eternity since I did another podcast episode, since I'm talking about like the whole summer months and autumn months. But yeah, I picked it up in October again, and I finished it at the end of October. So now it has been ready to be used for the autumn and for the upcoming winter, so it's really great. I really like it. It's knit on 4mm needles. I don't remember if it's what the pattern calls for or if that is just what I choose to do because of the yarn that I had. Because Drop Soft Tweed, they recommend needle size 4, so that's what I did. I don't remember if the pattern calls for that, but yeah. Anyway, I really like it, except for the charts in the pattern. I had so much trouble getting the start and the finish once I got the hang of how to do the increases and how to place the lace panels, it went smoothly. But at the starting, at the end, I couldn't understand how to do it with the charts. It was, I think I started this shawl 4 or 5 times before I got it right. And then for the decreases at the end, I think I just did my own thing that made sense for me. I don't know, but overall I really like the end result of it, even though I had some trouble to understand how the pattern itself was not written up. It was just the charts, but yeah. But don't be deterred to try it for yourself, because the end result is so beautiful. And like I said, it is a massive, absolutely massive shawl, so you will be kept warm throughout the entire winter. And you can wear it like a scarf like I did, or sometimes I just wear it around on my shoulders, and then I wrap this around. Now you see my sweatpants anyway. And just tie it like this, and then I can have like, it's like having almost like a second cardigan on, just to give a bit more warmth. Moving on to the third finished object. I showed this in my previous podcast episode also. Then I was on my way to finish it, but now it's been finished since July, I think. Yeah. And it is a pretty self-drafted cardigan, although I took a lot of inspiration from the free pattern from Drops Design called Trip to Provence. So I used the stitch count. Maybe I didn't use the stitch count. I don't remember, but I know that I draw a lot of inspiration from that one, at least. And it is a cardigan with beautiful lace panels at the front, with I-cord edges at all of the edges, even at the edge of the button band. Oh, maybe I can show it like this, then I can show the beautiful buttons also. So they have I-cords everywhere, also at the bottom edge over here. It is knit in Drops Bell color pearl. And I started this project, I think last year, but then I wasn't happy with how the back piece was turning out. So I had already made 2 front panels, but the back panel for some reason got huge. It was so huge. So I just decided to unravel everything, even the front panels, and just start all over. And then I could also incorporate the button band knitted as I went, which was nice because then I didn't have to pick up stitches for a button band, but I had to pick up stitches for the I-cord anyway, so I didn't save that much time. But I really like this one. It's such a nice summer cardigan to have, since it's with Drops Bell. It's with linen and cotton, and I think a bit of viscose in the mix, which makes it very breathable for the warmer summer months. So it has been really nice using this one, and I managed to get hold of such beautiful wooden buttons. I think they fit so perfectly. I am gonna go back to the store and see if I can find more of them, because I have upcoming cardigans that I'm working on that I would like to use these kinds of button to as well. I really like the dark color of it. The sleeves are a bit, I wouldn't say bell-shaped, but they are a bit flared at the end of it. So it's not a really tight-fitting sleeve, and I feel like it gives a very nice fairy bohemian vibe somehow, which if you've been here before, you know that I love. And this, I think you've seen this lace pattern before in my videos. It's a lace pattern that I am absolutely in love with, and I am continuing to work with this lace pattern over and over again. And I forgot to say, it's knit on 4mm needles, so it was a fairly quick knit. I think it took me about a month to have it done, something like that. So yeah, it was really nice wearing it in the summer. But let's move on to the next ones. The next one is a ripple bralette. I showed this in my last video and then I only had like a few centimeters done on it, but now it is actually finished. I have been using it a couple of times and it has been a bit stretched out. It still fits me well, and I'm gonna say it's a modified ripple bralette, because in the pattern by Jessie May Designs, it is worked with a 3x3 rib and it's a bit longer, but I decided to work it in stockinette stitch. Is it called stockinette stitch in English? Yeah, because garter stitch is the other one. Yeah, I decided to work in stockinette stitch and make it shorter to just have it cover my boobs, so I can have it underneath my white blouses or white t-shirts, because I don't want my colleagues or other people to see my nipples shining through. So then it's nice having something to like just cover it, and I really don't like wearing bras, so these type of bralettes are just really nice. I used some stash yarn for this. It was Sannes Garn Petit Merino. No, not Petit Merino. Petit Mandarin. They're cotton yarn, and I bought it so many years ago. I think I bought it 4 or even 5 years ago, and it was just really nice that it could finally have some use. It came to use in the form of a bralette. So I lost the tag long ago, so I'm sorry, I don't really know the color for it, but I'm sure you can find something very similar. It's a very soft yarn. I really like Mandarin Petite. There we have it, Mandarin Petite. That's the name. My last finished object is something that I actually finished yesterday. I have some threads still to sew in, but it's a headband. It's a braided headband made in stash yarn again. I feel like a good girl that is using my stash yarn finally, and this is with Drops Nepal, which is I think 50% sheep wool and 50% alpaca, but I could be wrong, but I think that's the mix. I knitted it on double pointed needles in needle size 4. The yarn is recommended to be knitted on 5mm needles, but I decided to do it with 4 to get a bit denser fabric. But now in hindsight, I think I should have gone with 5, because it turned out a bit too thin. Like I wanted it a bit more wide. So yeah, that was a bit of a miscalculation from my part, but I will block it and see if I can stretch it a little bit. Hopefully I can make it a little bit bigger, because now when I put it on with the braided texture, I get some gaps, like you see, I get some gaps, and then like cold air can get on my ears, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna see if I can just stretch it a bit. It was a very quick knit. Took me maybe 3 or 4 days to finish it. I have been working on other projects also at the same time, but it was just a very small, quick knit. I do have some other finished objects, but they are gift knits for Christmas, so I cannot show them here, because I know that the people who are going to receive them are watching my videos, so then it would be a real spoiler if I show them already now. So, but yeah, I have a couple of gift knits also that I managed to finish. And before I start with my work in progresses, I'm just gonna comment on my bangs, because maybe 2 months ago I got the urge to cut curtain bangs myself, and they didn't really turn out the way that I wanted. So they are just here along for the ride until they grow out a bit, so that I can go to a hairdresser and ask them to cut it for me. I tried to follow YouTube tutorials, but yeah, no, it didn't really get the results that I was looking for. So this is my first finished object. I only have not finished objects, work in progresses. I only have 2 work in progresses that I will be talking about today. And this is the first one. Oh, this is the first one. It is going to be a t-shirt. I am following a pattern from Fiber Tales. It is called Cloudberry tee, but I am not doing the cloudberries that she has on the sleeves. I am just following the stitch count and the construction of it. So it's a t-shirt that is worked top down, and first you cast on one shoulder, then the other one, and you join them for the neckline, the neckline. You do the same for the back side, and then you join them in the round after you've done down to the armhole. It's a bit out of my comfort zone, I would say, to make something in this color. It's a bit of a... It has a lot of pink tones, but it's also quite purple in a way. And I usually go for green or beige or dark red, and not really this type of color, but I am really in love with it. I think it's gonna be looking so great once it's done. And I will be adding green hemlines as well. So I will be adding green on the neck and then on the bottom hem, and later at the hem on the sleeves. I think I'm starting to get to a point where I need to cast off. Okay, no, it's still a bit short. It's gonna be a bit longer. And then I will start with incorporating the green parts. I'm working this one on 3mm needles, and I'm just gonna show my beautiful little needle stoppers. They are so adorable. And I'm working it with Viking Garn Bambino. I have talked about this yarn a lot before. I absolutely love it. It's a bamboo and cotton blend, and it's just so lovely. It really feels like silk, and it's just, oh, I want to have all of my wardrobe's clothes with this yarn. It's so lovely. But yes, as it worked on 3mm needles, it takes a long time to knit this. So I have been working on this on and off the entire summer, and still I have not a long way to go, but I still have a bit to go. And I also need to pick up stitches for the sleeves later on to make those. But it's gonna be a t-shirt, so it's gonna be fairly quick to knit the sleeves, I hope. But since this yarn is so slippery is the wrong word, but so soft, it really, when it's on the needles, sometimes for me it's very easy for the stitches to drop off. So if you ever use this yarn, keep in mind that be a bit careful with it, because I think depending on which needles you're using, it can be really easy to drop the stitches, or it can be like these needles, oh my god, I'm rambling. These needles are very like smooth, and with this combined with a smooth yarn, it makes it really easy to just slip off. So if you have needles that are a little bit coarser, I would recommend that with this yarn for sure. Now we are on to the last one that I'm going to show you. It is a cardigan, and this one is very special to me because I am using both lace, oh, what's this? Birch seeds. I am using both lace and cables in the same garment. I have never combined them two before, and I absolutely love the results that I am getting from this. And here's the back side. It has some really stunning panels. And I am gonna say that for the pattern itself, so for the cables and the lace combination, I didn't come up with that myself. I saw that Kutova Kika, or Veronica Lindberg, on Instagram, she posted a few sneak peeks of some of her upcoming garments from some of her garments from her upcoming book, and they had this combination of the cables and this lace in a slightly different version, but I absolutely fell in love with it, and I couldn't wait until the book was going to be published until I could cast on something myself. So I took inspiration with the pattern combinations, but for the pattern itself, it is completely free-handed. I counted and did a lot of math for how many stitches I wanted to cast on, and everything like where to place the panels, I had to calculate that myself. So yeah, but it's a lot of inspiration from her. I just want to give her credit for it. But then hers is, I've seen some more pictures, hers is a v-neck and is knitted top down. Mine is knitted bottom up because I wanted the lace to go in this specific way. And it's also a bit of a, I think it might be called a crew neck or something. Well, it's not a v-neck at least. And then on the sleeves, I am doing another type of braid as well. And I'm using one of my own little progress keepers that I made 2 summers ago. It's a little violet. At first I wasn't such a fan of this braid, but now it is growing on me. I made a few modifications to the first version that I didn't like, but now I do like it a lot. And it is knit with a twisted rib. So the knit stitches are knitted through the back loop instead to create a bit more definition on the rib itself. And I will be picking up stitches for the button band. I am thinking of doing a double knitted button band. I think that could look pretty neat on this one. And I need to pick up stitches around the neckline, and I think I'm gonna do the same twisted rib, but I'm gonna do it double folded so that the neckline has a bit more sturdiness to it. I'm knitting it on 4mm needles with Drops Soft Tweed again. I really like this yarn. It's a DK Way yarn, and it just creates a really nice fabric. It has a bit of a rustic look to it, but at the same time it's being very, very soft, because rustic yarns, I cannot, they itch too much. But with this I can achieve the rustic look but still have it really soft. So that's what I'm doing. This color, I believe, is called Sand. I don't know the exact number that it has, but I believe it's called Sand. And it's been a really joy working on this one. I'm so happy with how it's turning out. And I also have really amazingly cute needle stoppers this time on this also. Some sheeps. I also have a pair of bees laying somewhere, but I only have 2 work in progresses going on, so the bees are resting a little bit now. So yeah, for this one I actually have all of the stitches and the construction and the measurements written down, and I am not sure if I will make this into a pattern. Making a pattern for a garment like this is terrifying, because I would have to do grading, and I have no idea how to do that, and change from like the stitches that I do for a small or to a large, like it scares me. But I think it would be very, very nice if I could make it into a pattern, but it might take a long time for me to do that. And courage. Need to build up a bit of courage for it. So yeah, that is everything for this podcast episode. I hope that you enjoyed it and that you got a bit of inspiration for your upcoming projects. I would love to hear what you're working on right now. If you are working on gift knits or knits for yourself so that you can survive the winter that is coming. I'm not a fan of the cold. The only thing I like with the cold is that you can wear wool sweaters, and that's very, very cozy. But being outside in the cold and you feel like your nose is gonna fall off because it's so cold, no, I'm more of a spring person. Then it's what we in Swedish say lagom. It's lagom temperature and it's lagom sunny. It's nice. But okay, that was everything I had to talk about and to show for this podcast episode. I really hope that I will not take such a long time for my next one, but I'm not gonna make any promises. I'm sorry. Because if I make a promise and I don't keep to that promise, it feels really bad. So I'm just gonna say that I will see you when I see you next time, and I hope you take care of yourself. Okay, bye!